Coffee Monday is more than a podcast. It's a movement to reshape the way we approach Mondays and the week ahead. It's about embracing the reality that work doesn't have to dominate our lives. It's about finding that sweet spot where passion, purpose, and a cup of motivation connect. Filmed and recorded in California's Central Valley, join me, your host, Ray Pardini-Matson, as I invite thriving professionals to share their stories of how they're crafting a life that's both vibrant and balanced. We just usually dive right in,
Let's
sister.
Go.
Thanks for being here. What a treat.
So happy to be here.
Lex Nicoleta in the house, gracing us with her presence. I'm so happy.
Thank you for having me.
It's fun to see you. What do they say? IRL in real life.
I know. Last time I saw you, we were making charms together. Charm necklaces.
I know. Gosh, that is a fun thing that you've started. I feel like you are like breaking the internet with that one.
Oh my gosh. Not me, but I love making jewelry. It's like that's what I used to do in college. That was my like little side hustle. And so now that like these chunky charm necklaces are coming back in, I'm like all over it.
Obsessed.
I can't stop making them. I'm like, I don't need another one. Like, can I start sending them to people?
Right.
I have so many, but it's so fun.
You're so good at them. And you like, I saw a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Like what?
Uh-huh.
Who knew? They have super cute stuff.
I hadn't been there since college.
I should have worn mine today. I wear mine kind of a lot.
Yours turned out really good.
I love it. I think it's so cute and meaningful, you know? It's like the new age juicy charm.
100%, or like those little Italian charm bracelets that you would get at the mall.
Oh my God.
That is such a throwback.
I think I still have mine.
I hope you do, because those are like a moment in time.
With the links?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And you'd get like the flag of like where your like family's from, like what, all of that stuff.
I literally had an Italian flag. That's 100%. Hilarious that you said that. I know. So how'd you even think about the charm necklace thing? You said you have a background in making jewelry, but
for sure. And I feel like I started to notice that like kind of look was coming back in, and I would see like jewelry brands start to do these like chunky charm necklaces, and I'm like, I can easily make that.
Yeah.
And I think it's more fun when you make it too.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, that's the kind of stuff that I love, is like being crafty. So it's like when you're at home by yourself and you have like a minute, and then it's fun.
Love it.
There's no bigger flex than when somebody's like, oh my God, where'd you get that? And you're like, I made it. You're
that
like,
is so true though.
One of one.
Yeah. Custom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's so true. Handmade. All of it. Oh my God.
We laugh so hard. We have a mutual friend, Danny.
Yes.
And I painted a big like painting that hangs in my living room, and we call it my art vandalay. It's like a Seinfeld reference.
Yeah.
And it's like anytime somebody comes over and they're like, where did you get this art? I'm like, oh, it's very exclusive. Like, I painted it in my garage, but it's like, that's what I love. It's so fun.
I know, and people clearly love it too. It's so great.
Maybe one person asked. I'm like, people are flooding
like,
in. Yeah, no.
Starts creating a painting business. Oh my God.
I'm like, I could totally have an Etsy shop.
You could.
No.
Well, you said, did you sell your jewelry in college?
I sure did. I did have an Etsy shop, and then I worked at a boutique and I sold it there. And so
Amazing.
That was fun. Yeah. Good time.
So you definitely have a creative eye. How do you spot, this is like a loaded question.
Okay.
So no right or wrong. How do you spot trends? Like you said, you started noticing like brands like doing like chunky necklaces and stuff. Like,
yeah.
I mean, obviously the internet, right? Like browsing, personal shopping, that sort of thing. But like, how do you know what's up? What's trending?
Yeah. I think being a consumer, like consuming, I'm scrolling, and then just like online shopping, and not even having to really buy anything. Like that is how I like decompress at the end of the day. Like I'll just have my laptop and I'll just be like, Nick laughs at me so much because he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, are you surfing? Because I say I'm like surfing the web. I'm just like looking online at different things, and you start to notice certain things come up. It's like if you're noticing a social media trend, you'll be like, okay, well, every 4 videos I'm noticing people are using this sound. It's kind of the same with fashion, and you'll start to see like red has had a huge moment lately, and it's like all of a sudden you'll start to see people have these like red accent pieces, and so you'll be like, I think this is about to really pop off and have a moment, and so you can kind of hop on it before it goes like, I guess, mainstream.
Smart.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about the red moment?
I like red.
I know. I was going to say you love red, and it looks great on you.
I do like a red pop, and honestly, like any excuse to wear more color, because I'm so neutral. So it's like when you can play with it and have fun, I think that I'm down.
Right?
Yeah.
Love that. So let's back up a little bit. How did your social media presence start? And what does that look like? Like, how did you grow on social? Like, what's your story there?
So I feel like I've always posted on social media like I was an influencer, even when I wasn't. And I think that anytime anybody asks me, like, how do you start? It's doing that, because I just loved it. So in college, I feel like I would be posting like outfit detail photos and things like that. And then I started making videos, and I'm like, I fell in love with it. I had so much fun doing it. And so I was just posting a ton of different kinds of content. And I feel like for me, I was slowly gaining followers along the way, but what really, I feel like, introduced me to people was Coastal Grandmother. And so then that happened, and like that had a big moment. And then you kind of like, part of you wants to pivot and part of you wants to stay talking about this thing that like you love, that is the reason why people know you, but you have to keep trying out different things and like, I guess, reinvent yourself. It's like a whole thing, right? So I just keep making videos, and it's like whatever I love. So it kind of does fall under the Coastal Grandmother umbrella of like hosting, entertaining, decorating, cooking, like all these things are very Coastal Grand, but I feel like that's how I've continued to grow now.
Amazing. So what advice would you give somebody who's just feels like they're talking to themselves? Like they don't have a ton of followers. They're trying to stay consistent, but it can be discouraging, right? So like, what advice would you give those people?
Yeah, I would just say that you have to keep going and show up. And it's very cliche, but it's so true, because like everybody says it's cringe until it's not. Like, okay, so maybe it's cringe, and then all of a sudden something happens and you have followers, and it's not cringe anymore. Now it's your job. Now you're earning money from it. Yeah. So you have to just kind of put your blinders on and keep doing things and posting things that are true to you. And I always say, especially when it comes to social media, but like you have to be authentic, because social media users are so smart. So they can see if you're doing something because it worked for somebody else. You have to do something that I always say, like, pick something that you can talk about for hours and like focus on that and go deep dive. And that's kind of how Coastal Grandmother was born a little bit, because I was so obsessed with this thing that I couldn't really name. Yeah. And I just started talking about literally every single aspect of it. And you have these moments where you're like, is it only me? Like, am I the only one who feels this way? And then you realize, like, no, there is a group of people who feels the exact same way that you do. Yes. And that is like the beauty of social media, because it can connect all these people who love the same things. Yes. And so, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the birth of Coastal Grandmother. Like, how you said you were interested in different things, right? Yeah. Like almost like a lifestyle of sorts. For sure. Right? Yeah. So you have these interests, but like, how did you make that a thing and such a popular following?
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, first of all, like, I don't know. Honestly, it really
even the name. I mean, let's go back to, I want to hear it all. I'm so intrigued.
So like I said, I couldn't really put a name to this thing that I was obsessed with. Yeah. And then when I like thought about it, I remember so specifically posting an Instagram story, and I was dressed like a Coastal Grandmother, and I said, I look like someone's Coastal Grandmother. And I was like, that is funny, because that kind of embodies exactly what I'm like thinking of. It's Diane Keaton and Something's Gotta Give. It's like somebody's grandma who lives at the beach, who hosts you and cooks linguine and clams for you, and the house is immaculate, and it's like she goes farmer's market shopping for the heirloom tomatoes. Like, that's the whole vision, right?
Yes.
So then I started like expanding on every single part of that. So if it's interior, if it's the exact meal that you're cooking that kind of just like feels like this vibe, if it's you're gonna sip iced tea on your patio and flip through a catalog.
I just have a vision, literally.
Right?
Yes.
So that is like, it's like literally what I love, and I genuinely do these things because I'm trying to make every day feel like happy, right? So like that is my happy place, right? Sipping coffee in the morning, scrolling through a home catalog like I'm 80. Yeah. But that is what I love. So that's kind of how the videos started. And going back, I was telling you this before, but I think I posted the first video talking about Coastal Grandmother in January of 2022. Yeah. And then by March, it was like everywhere. And it was absolutely a whirlwind. And like overnight, I was just seeing more and more people talk about it, more people post about it. Then, you know, I'm getting reached out to by different like TV shows and publications and things like that. So it really felt so quick. I was not prepared for it. I had no idea like that this was even a possibility. I was just like talking about
pretty much
that I
overnight,
love.
Right?
Pretty much.
So, and I remember you were on like, you know, national television talking about the trend, which is so fun. So and then you trademarked it.
Yeah.
Genius.
Well, yeah.
How was that? Like a moment where you're like, okay, I gotta run with this.
Well, I was noticing like other people using the term, and like people on the internet use it all you want, but like I was noticing companies using it to advertise and things like that. Yeah. So I was like, well, I should probably protect this term that I created. So I got a trademark lawyer and I trademarked it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Genius. And I am seeing it. I saw a show the other day, Mom Brain. It's escaping me which one right now, but they literally referenced it.
No way.
Swear. And I meant to send it to you. I need to send it to you. But I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah, it's really, really wild. I was reading a book over the summertime last summer, and it literally was in the book. And I was like, wait, this is like a surreal out-of-body experience. Yes. Wild. So you had this, you know, like flush of media opportunities, and the internet's going crazy over this trend. I feel like also the great thing you have going for you, amongst many other things that I just love the vibe and the vision, it's a timeless concept. For sure.
You know, it's not something that's like so trendy that's going to go in and out. Like Coastal Grand is goals. I mean, come on.
For sure.
So what is that? What are you thinking? Like, what do you want to do? Do you have an idea about what you want to do with that? Like what the future of the brand and the experience and the vision looks like?
Yeah, for sure. I have dreams of doing something maybe in the home space. And, you know, I kind of got pregnant right in the middle of this, all this happening. So a little bit, everything has been on pause. I definitely still, you know, make content and I work and everything like that, but I probably am moving slower than I would have been. Yeah.
Well, you know, that happens.
Shout out Reese.
I was going to say, Reese. Okay, so let's talk about that. I mean, the reality of motherhood, right? Like you and your husband knew you wanted to start a family at some point, and here she is, so precious. How's that been, navigating work life, mom life, family life, all of that?
I'm obsessed with being a mom. Aww. And she's just like the absolute best. It's just been so much fun. And definitely challenging and like a learning experience, like how I remember hearing people say before I had Reese, I was pregnant, and people would be like, it's the hardest job ever, but it's the best job ever. And it would scare me because I'm like, what do you mean the hardest job ever?
Yeah, right.
And then you're doing it and you're like, no, this is literally the hardest job ever. I was watching it was like a TikTok social media experiment, or I don't know what it was, but a guy was interviewing candidates and he was like, okay, this is the job, you're actually have no hours off, like you have to be on your feet most of the time, and these candidates are like confused, and then at the end he's like, no, it's being a mom, and it's like that's what people mean by it's the hardest job ever. It's all of you. It's 24/7, and it changes everything about your life, especially for moms. So navigating how to still work and chase after something that you really want to do, and also be like the most present, best mom that you can be. It's a balancing act.
It's a lot, right? I know. And I feel like we've talked about this, like childcare and reliable family and friends. Like that's everything, I feel. But you also have to navigate. I joke with other like mom friends that work as well. It's like there's nobody more efficient than a mom trying to get stuff done.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Because you have a window. Yeah. You have like the nap window.
Oh my gosh. And you're anticipating hearing the cry at any given moment.
Have you heard phantom cries yet?
In the shower is my phantom cry spot.
Same.
I'm like, what was that? I'm like, oh, she's not even here.
Literally.
She's with Nick.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I know. It's a thing. It's crazy. So, what has motherhood taught you?
Patience.
Right. Right.
No, I feel like she has really made me slow down, and it does give you this sort of like perspective, because I think you can work towards something and be like all full steam ahead, but what is it all really for? And for me, it's like she's given me so much perspective in life. And
sweet.
Yeah. What about for you?
Sweet. So many things. Patience for sure. I feel like I work on that every day. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like I can't even fully think about it, or I will like get overwhelmed. But like these little humans are counting on us.
Yeah.
Like no pressure.
You're literally building their childhood.
Literally.
Every day. Their core memories, everything that they take with them.
Yes. And I think about my childhood and my upbringing and how much I really have very fond memories of that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to give that to them, or give them a fun, hopefully fun, fulfilling life. But it's funny, it's a wild ride. I mean, the other day had one of the worst days with the kids. Like worst meaning just like they weren't listening. They were kind of like the girls were kind of at each other.
Things weren't going right.
Yeah. And I felt like I kept saying the same thing over and over again. Guys, you need to start listening. Listening was an issue for the day. Whining, all of it. I just felt like I was kind of nagging them, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like at the end of the day, I'm going to say goodnight, and they're like, "Mommy, I love you so much. You're the best." And I'm like, I thought you hated me from today, But it's just like wild to me that we're shaping these little people with such unconditional love. And I feel like patience is definitely one at the top of the list of what motherhood has taught me. And I think like time management.
Oh my gosh. I'm still working on that.
I mean, it's hard. I'm not a pro by any means, but like I do feel like that, right? And I feel like just prioritizing what's important, what's most important to you. At one point there was like a photo shoot one day and a work opportunity, and then volunteering in my daughter's class for her birthday. I volunteered in my daughter's class for her birthday because her birthday only comes once a year, and kindergarten is a big deal. Like, so those are the kind of things that we're going to have to navigate as the kids get older, And
and the balance of it all is like, I feel what I'm learning is that balance is a little bit of a myth, and that you can't have it like every day, every single category of your life. It's like today you're a really great wife and mom, but maybe work took the hit. And then the next day, maybe you have a meeting or whatever it is, and now you're not spending as much time with your kids. And so I think that it's trying to be easier on yourself, because I think moms especially, they want to be everything. Like you want to be at 100% in every category, or you feel like you're failing, but you're not, because you do have to keep up this like juggling act of, satisfying all areas of your life. You're also a daughter, a friend, like all of these things that you have going on. And you just have to take it day by day. And that's what I'm trying to get better at. But it's hard because you're different. Like, I mean, you're into motherhood more than I am. Reese is almost a year, but I feel like I'm still getting to know myself as a mom, where it's like before I would just, I miss my friend, I would just like call her.
I know.
And
right?
that I'm still, you try to have a phone call with me on Monday and I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like, Reese won't let me talk to you.
I know. Trust me, I get it though.
She's like crying at my, like, she's physically trying to take the phone out of my hand. She has the phone obsession. Yeah. And it's madness. And so all of these little things that used to just be easy tasks.
It's so true.
It
is so
longer.
True. Or just like trying to clean up the house and then you look behind you and there's literally a tornado of stuff that I just cleaned up that is a mess again. You know? Or at Reese's age, the walking, literally I have to hold my breath because I'm afraid they're going to like fall or hit their head on a corner of a table or something like that. Like it's a hard age.
Scary and it's different. And I remember someone coming up to me. And so backstory is that Reese had colic. So for the first 3 months of her life, if she was awake, she was screaming.
Oh, that's so hard.
It was very tough and very mentally challenging. But I remember we got out of the colic phase and it was like I was alive again. And we were at dinner and Reese was sleeping in her stroller at dinner and somebody came up to us and was like, this is the easiest time. And I look at Nick and I'm like, what does she mean? What does she mean by that? Because we just went through hell. Like, what does she mean this is the easiest? But I'm getting it that like, while some things get easier, like now she can walk around. So it's fun because before it's like, oh, she's mad that she wants to get on the ground. Now she can walk around, but there's now new challenges.
100%. No, there's new. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I get that now.
100%. I know, it was funny. We were traveling recently and you know, hotel room. I mean, we're all one big happy family in the room, right? And MJ was just like confused. He's 2.5 now. He's very confused. He's like, where am I? Why do I have to go to sleep on this pull-out bed?
Right.
Why are we all in one room? He was just confused. We clearly don't travel enough for him to get used to the setting, okay? But he woke up like 2 or 3 times in the night. And I've never, you know, as a mom, I'm sure everybody tells you this. They tell all of us this with young kids. Don't wish for the future. Embrace the now. Right. These years are going to go by so fast. And it's like, I get all that. Yeah. But I'm freaking tired right now. And this is the wrong time to tell me that this is the sweetest phase. So Michael and I were literally like, I can't wait for this phase to be over. Yeah. The girls pass out, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, and it's just like, you get a little taste of what the next phase looks like. And I'm sure, again, years from now, I'll be eating my words and saying I wish.
For sure. No, when I was like, when I was in the colic phase.
Yeah,
I had a friend tell me, like, pretend that you are 80 years old and like this day that you're living, you got to like go and travel back and be a mom to your baby again. And I'm like, no, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous. But like this day sucks. Like I don't want to live this one.
I know.
You know?
I know.
So I think that, I totally relate with like being like, okay, she's not going to be this little forever. She's not going to fall asleep on me and want to stay asleep. And I'm like, but I really want to get in bed and watch Real Housewives right now. Like I've had a long day. So I totally get it.
I love it. Is that your guilty pleasure?
Oh
Housewives?
My gosh.
You're a Housewives girly.
Beverly Hills.
Okay.
Can't quit them.
I guess I need to get into it. I watch on occasion, but I'm not like a loyal follower.
Yeah. I feel like I had franchises where I was like obsessed and it's kind of teetered off a little bit, but I will always watch Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Always.
So Beverly Hills above all the others.
Above.
Okay.
Anything.
I love it.
I mean, New York is not anymore.
Oh, really?
They have their new crew.
What about OC? Anything happening there?
I haven't watched OC in years.
Okay.
I loved Salt Lake for a minute, but it just...
Yeah.
Beverly Hills has the sauce for me.
It's special place in your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what my guilty pleasure is now? Have you seen Love is Blind?
We just watched.
Oh
my
goodness. Just the last season?
So, yes.
Keep going back. Because I think we're on
to.
season 6. I actually started watching the first one. This is totally dating me. But like during maternity leave. Like, you don't get a maternity leave.
Amber and Barnett.
Yes. 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 Barnett. So,
shout out.
No, yeah. But when I was nursing.
Yes. Oh, the nursing shows.
So I binged watch all of it. And then at that point, it was only season 1, and I'm like, come on, give me more, you know? And I wish I would have had some to kind of go back on, but...
No, it's gold.
Right?
It's like, how is this real? How is this happening?
But, okay, so I was listening to the finale of the last season, and their stats are way better than The Bachelor.
Oh, I
for
believe
marriage.
It. Oh, yeah, because, like, they have, like, 9 out of 11. Or
yes,
11
I love
something.
that you know that. Yes, that was the stat I was going to plug. Literally, I love that. Yes, 11 marriages, 9 of which are still together. Yeah. To me, that's super impressive. Real. Think about Bachelor. I don't even watch The Bachelor anymore. Only Bachelor in Paradise, which is also a guilty pleasure. But, you know, like, the stats are good.
Is it because they're a little bit old? No, they're not even that much older.
Yeah, maybe a little bit older. Well, some of them are. Some of them aren't. The latest one, that one, Milton was like 24.
Who is Milton?
Milton was on the last season. He's like 7 feet tall. And he's like 24. And Milton. And he ended up marrying a woman who's like mid-30s. Yeah. Old, well, in their case, significantly older.
Well, I'm like, I watched this last season of The Bachelor for some reason.
You did?
It was actually so good.
Is it?
I haven't watched in years. It was actually great. But it is such a jarring experience when you grew up watching a show and now you're older than the contestants.
I know.
I'm like this. There is a 23-year-old. I just don't like. Now
I know.
I'm talking about the youth. Like that's where I'm at. So it's wild, but maybe that's a factor.
You're so right. Yeah, that for sure. And I mean, I don't know. I really haven't watched since Chris Harrison stopped hosting.
I know. I think a lot of people
they lost some Batch Nation fans.
Yeah, he had some like riders for him that were OG.
I know, and that's not my why. I just coincidentally I was like, At
that time, it was kind of falling off.
Yeah,
I do think they had a bit of an issue, but now this past season was good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was cute.
Okay, and we just missed the finale.
Yeah, it was literally last night.
Yeah. So guilty pleasure housewives, obviously Batch.
Yeah.
What do you like to do in your free time? AKA LOL. It's laughable.
I'm like, this is my free time.
Like free time. I know, right? I know. It's such a cheesy question. But I mean, like, okay, I'm going to paint a picture for you.
Okay.
Reese is asleep.
Yeah.
Hubby's watching sports or, just chilling. Okay. You're showered. You're ready for bed. You're just like, and you have like a decent amount of time. It's not too late to where you feel like you have to get to sleep because the baby's going to be up early. What do you do?
I am a bath girl.
Oh.
I take a bath.
Love it.
I love an Epsom salt, lavender bath situation. I set up like a little YouTube, but maybe I'll watch a YouTube.
Oh, love.
Maybe I'll watch a show.
Yeah.
And that
I
is
love
what I do.
that.
You're a bath girl too?
Love baths.
Yeah.
Love baths.
It's
and
so good.
Actually Epsom salt, but I get a lavender infused Epsom salt.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
So good.
So good. We're on the same page. Our mutual love for dirty martinis. Let's chat about that.
Let's talk about a martini.
Okay. How do you order? Your fave. We got to go down this path.
Okay. So I really went on a journey because I did not like martinis and I thought they were like the cool girl drink, right? You see a girl drinking a martini at the bar and
classy,
I'm like, she's
chic.
got it together. Like she's got a cool outfit on. I really wanted to be this martini girl. So I started a series on TikTok where I'm like, damn it, I am going to be a martini girl. I'm going to go through all of these martinis. I literally made over 50 different martinis. But during this series is when I figured out that I am not a vodka martini girl. I'm a gin martini girl. And that changed everything for me. Because I was making them with vodka and tons of olive juice, you guys. So dirty, like that it's borderline like foul, disgusting. And I was like, it's good, but it's not, like, I wouldn't order this. And then I tried it with gin and it was like the stars aligned. So if I'm ordering, I'll do Hendrix. People like clown on me for ordering Hendrix because it's like kind of cucumbery. I love it.
Yeah.
I want it shaken. People also clown on me for that because you're supposed to stir gin. I think it tastes better shaken.
Are you? I didn't know that. Well, the whole shaken, not stirred, I get that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that's what people do for gin. Okay.
Yes. And then lots of olive juice. I do a vermouth spray. I don't do a rinse or anything, I have a little atomizer and I literally spray it in the glass.
Yeah.
And then I hand stuff blue cheese olives. And I feel like people are like, you can buy blue cheese olives at the store. And I'm like, they are not the same.
Nope. I 1,000% agree with you. Do you have a little tool for them?
No.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I need a tool. Oh my gosh.
It's like, you know how the kids have the syringes of medicine? This is the best way I can describe it right now. They have one for blue cheese where you literally put it in the block of blue cheese, twist, and then inject into the olive.
The way I'm about to Amazon that.
Oh, I literally will send you the link. It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's game changer. Because I hosted a martini party where we did tastings and recipes and stuff.
Love.
And I agree. Nothing better than a hand-stuffed blue cheese
I
olive.
was piping them with a little sandwich bag. So this sounds like it's
God, I love you for that. No, girl, this is going to change your life.
Okay, I'm excited. Great.
Okay, so prior to gin martini, did you drink gin drinks?
No.
I know.
I've been such a wine girl.
Yeah.
Like, I love wine.
Mm-hmm.
Nick and I both love it. That's like, if we get to go and get away, just the two of us, we're going to Napa, we're wine tasting, like we're having a moment.
Love it.
And so I really, like, I seriously think I went from drinking like vodka crayons in college to like ordering a Cabernet at dinner.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
there was nothing else for me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't doing cocktails, but ever since starting this like martini series, I have become such a cocktail person because it's so fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. And then you get to see, never knew you'd like gin, right?
Yeah. No, and I feel like a bartender now.
I love it.
Kind of am.
I love it. Oh my God, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I need to try this gin martini. I'm a vodka girl, but I'm down.
Brought stuff.
We should have done that.
Oh my gosh.
Fail. Next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
We'll go to Lindsay's.
Yes. Let's do it. So, the chips.
The chips.
I saw.
Uh-huh.
Were they that good?
So good.
You said it tasted exactly like it.
Something about, so for those listening who don't know what I'm talking about, I saw a girl on TikTok and she was making a dirty martini chip, and it was a salt and vinegar chip with blue cheese and then a Castelvetrano olive. Something about the salt and vinegar, it like mimics the alcohol that you're getting from a dirty martini, and then the rest, it tastes like a dirty martini. So I don't know what that's about. It's so good.
Bomb.
People are telling me I should melt the cheese, and I might try that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Almost like an artichoke dippy kind of vibe. Bomb.
Yeah. So good.
Love. See, I'm more of a vinegar gal.
Yeah.
Like vinegar, like red wine, balsamic vinegar on everything, coffee, like more of that than a sweet, you know?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So have you espresso martinis? Have we gone down this road?
I'm really trying, and I don't have the recipe. I actually so I made an espresso martini, and I used Bailey's, and I was brutally rebuffed. Like, everybody was like, no Bailey's. Don't do it.
Okay, I have so many thoughts on this.
Tell me everything.
Okay, so I literally hosted a martini party where we made dirty martini and an espresso martini.
Okay.
Dirty martini option for vodka or gin. Espresso martini option for tequila or vodka. Because you never know. I have a lot of my friends are tequila girls.
Yeah.
I love a spicy marg, but like ask me to take a tequila shot or smell it and I will be ill.
Yeah.
So I err on the vodka side to both. But Michael was my taste tester. The guy doesn't even like coffee, and he had so many tastes of an espresso martini. Really? He was like, Ray, what is happening? I experimented with every possible recipe.
Tell me.
I think that I order an espresso martini and judge an espresso martini like I like my coffee.
Okay.
Which is I need to have a little cream in it.
That is why I added the Bailey's, because on the color chart of, like, you've seen that little image where it's like,
no, the dark brown, absolutely not. No. Ugh, no.
Bitter.
Yes.
Upsetting. Yeah.
And just not worth the treat.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah, I can share my favorite spots for espresso martini around the town and whatnot. But I feel like a splash of Bailey's is key.
Okay.
So I can't remember the recipe off the top of my head. I have it on my phone. But I think it's 2 shots of vodka or tequila.
Okay.
1 shot of coffee liqueur or Kahlua. 1 shot of, did I say espresso?
No.
Espresso.
Okay.
So 2 shots of alcohol, 1 shot of liqueur, 1 shot of espresso, and then a splash of Bailey's.
Okay.
I think it makes it super creamy.
Okay.
Shake the you-know-what out of it.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Really, really cold.
Yeah.
And then it'll make it extra foamy, and then it'll make it a little bit creamy.
Do you put the espresso in hot, or do you chill it?
So there's lots of thoughts on that. I learned that the hard way. I brew it fresh and leave it to chill, like room temp, which could take a while. But like, think about the restaurants. They don't do that.
Yeah.
If you order one at a restaurant, they don't do that. They make it fresh if it's a good one.
Yeah.
It depends. If you have the time, make the espresso fresh, let it cool, do it that way. I think it's milkier and creamier and just better, frothier. But if you don't, it's fine if it's pre-made and cold. Okay. It's just less frothy.
Okay.
And then 3 espresso beans on top.
Of course.
Always.
Do you do Mr. Black's? Everyone's telling me Mr. Black.
What is that? No.
It's a coffee liqueur.
Okay.
And people swear by it.
Yeah, great.
But that would be in place of Kahlua. But are you doing Kahlua?
I've been doing Kahlua and some other like small batch ones. It's Mr. Black's. Is that what you said? I don't think I've tried that one.
Okay.
I was just experimenting with some at Bevmo.
Yeah. No, I need to try your version because.
And then Kettle has one like pre-made.
They sent it to me, and is it good?
I actually think it's really good.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't tried it.
But it's dark brown, so I would just say if you like your coffee with cream, add. Okay. I mean, maybe haters will say no Baileys, but I think just a splash of Baileys will make it it's almost like cream in your coffee versus not.
Okay.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Okay, love.
I know. So they sent you, that's fun.
Yes.
So I imagine brands send you stuff all the time.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? Like, how do you choose like who you want to partner with?
Oh, okay. Well, getting sent things and then partnering is a little bit different.
Oh, so they just send you stuff just to send you stuff.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. So a lot of times it'll be like, I think they're hoping for a post.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And a lot of times I'll try out the product, and if I like it, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I won't. Danny gets a lot of... Danny, if you're listening, I'm like, I'll text her and be like, I have a goodie bag for you.
Oh my God, how amazing
stuff.
Is that?
And like my mother-in-law gets stuff sometimes, my mom, my sisters. So we've got to try out a bunch of different things, and it's fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I mean, are you finding like you gravitate more towards certain products like beauty or food or anything like that?
All of it. I mean, I love beauty. Like I just love playing around with makeup. So it's always fun to be able to try new products and see like what's worth the hype, because things will go viral and you will buy them and you'll be like, why is this viral? It's not like what I was using was better. So it's fun to be able to test out those like viral products, and some of them are really worth it and some of them just aren't. So yeah, it's fun to kind of see.
Danny and I were actually talking about the other day, mouth tape.
Oh my gosh, that's everywhere.
I know. What are your thoughts? Have you tried it?
I've never tried it.
Me neither.
For sure sleep with my mouth open.
Same.
And I think I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm going to stick to it.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't buy the viral Lauren Bostic one, Skinny Confidential, but I did try to get one because I know for sure I sleep with my mouth open. And I went to go put it on, and Michael was like, dude, this is creepy.
It is creepy.
And then I thought, what if my child, because the girls come in bed, you know, in the middle of the night sometimes or early in the morning, they would be freaked out if they saw mom with like tape on her mouth.
Yeah, like did Dad do this to her?
And the one I bought was like a dark black tape, and I was like, this looks creepy.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm good. Like there are some things that I really, everyone bought the AG one and like all these like little things.
Yes.
I will hop on, but I think I'm skipping the mouth tape. Oh my God.
I know. You can only do so much, right?
You really can.
I can't.
I know. And there will be a new thing, and I'll probably do that.
I think, I had this conversation with somebody recently, speaking of trends and all that. It's like, why don't we everything's going back to simpler times, in case you've realized, right? It's like walking, revolutionary.
Right.
Drink water. Wow.
Yeah.
So progressive. It's like sleep is so important. Yep. Why are these things like all of a sudden mind-blowing revelations.
It's
you know what I mean?
The pendulum swinging back in the other direction because we've gotten so nuts with all of these little fads and like hopping on whatever. And it's like, no, just wake up, get some sunlight, go on a walk. Like, it's just like, take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
You don't need 700 vitamins in the morning.
Literally.
Yeah.
But then somehow the internet convinces you that you do.
Oh, I can be convinced of anything on TikTok. I mean, the whole Kate Middleton thing, really, everybody was like taking me on a ride. And
I know.
Hope she's okay. Thoughts and
Me
prayers with Kate
too.
Middleton. But this is like exactly the, like what happens on the internet where it's like some random person is creating a 10-part series about, and now I'm believing it because I'm like, well, there's the evidence. Like,
I know. And then you're convinced.
Yeah.
You are convinced. I know.
100%.
I saw
I'm
so
watching
many.
like, they think it's AI. I'm like watching this video. I'm like, the ring is disappearing. And you know, you get into this rabbit hole and you're like, wait, I have to
step
go
back.
outside.
I know.
Yeah.
Remove myself.
Yeah.
So I feel like the internet can be a crazy place in that respect, right? It's like, and I think it goes back to, you know, if you don't know something, your mind starts going, right? Like you start, and some of these people had evidence, or so they said they did about Kate, but like if you don't know something, right? I don't want to say assume the worst, but you start thinking of different scenarios in your head, like, you know, oh, this person was absent from school this day because of X, Y, and Z. She must be blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
For sure. And anybody, like, it's a double-edged sword because I feel like I learned so much online, and it's so cool that we can treat these social media platforms kind of like Google, where I'm not going to Google to like learn how to, I'm going on TikTok and being like, my child's baby toy just broke, like how do I fix, you know, like all of these things. And it's so cool because it's right there and it's short form and it's like you can just 30 seconds you're done. But also people who have no credibility can just make a video about anything and somebody's gonna believe it. And that's a little bit of a new problem, I guess, in the world in general with like social media is so new and we're all just kind of navigating it together. And
so true. So I feel like in our lifetime, we will have lived, especially you, because I imagine, I mean, you're obviously younger than I am and have grown up in this a little bit more, I would say. Like I had Facebook in college. Yeah. Like that was when it first started. So a little different, but same in the sense we're living through almost like different lives, right?
For sure.
Like we're growing, you said it perfectly, we're growing up with social. Yeah. I had a really interesting stat given to me the other day that said, the most popular job that kids want these days, like when I grow up, I want to be X, is a YouTuber or an influencer. I mean, wow. Like just wow, because that wasn't even a thing. Yeah. You know, what, 10, 15 years ago? I guess maybe it was just starting. Yeah. My perception of time is bad. No. So as an influencer yourself and somebody who has a strong social media presence, like what are your thoughts on that? Like for, you know, like it's cool that you're living a career that wasn't even a thought when we were children, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Totally. It's very cool. And I think, you know, there are like, you have to think of it like any job, I guess. There are really great things about what I do and I wouldn't change it. I love, like obsessed with what I get to do. But there are downsides. And I feel like, I always say this, nobody likes to hear an influencer complain because really it is such a cool job. You get to like be your own boss. You get to create your own hours. I get to spend as much time with Reese as I possibly can. And so I love it for those reasons. There is a downfall of like opening up your app and like at any given moment, people are constantly saying their opinions about you and you have to be tough and all of these things. And you have to think about it like a job. But going back to what you said about kids, I feel like I think of it like how when we were growing up, like everyone wanted to be Hannah Montana, like because that's kind of what they're watching. Like I didn't grow up as a kid watching, like I see it with my nieces, like they want to watch their videos on their phone. And so that's who they're looking up to. And they're not watching influencers, they're watching, you know, kid things. Yeah. But whatever it is, I feel that you're watching and consuming as a kid, it's like that's kind of who you're wanting to become.
100%.
So that's
100%.
I see happening.
No, that's actually a really good point. And they're growing up with that. They don't know any different. Like I had the sweetest like revelation the other day. We were watching the Eras tour for the 1000th time. Love T Swift, big Swiftie fan. Her. Obsessed.
Oh my God.
And Liv has bangs and her hair's getting a little longer. And somebody told her that she looked like Taylor Swift. You would have thought that it was Christmas morning. Yeah. I mean, she was like, Mommy, like blushing, like freaking. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. Because I remember having those like stars, like you said, Hannah Montana. People, you know, when you're young, you look up to them. They're celebrities in our kids' eyes. And that's an interesting perspective that essentially these personalities on social are going to be what our children grow up with.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, especially YouTube.
I wonder what the stat is because, I mean, kids, it's funny and it's interesting, but like, how do like high school students feel? Does it still continue like that?
I know, right?
You know?
I know. But don't you think high schoolers are on TikTok?
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like they have a more formed sense of the world. So I feel like I don't know that it would be so high still. I mean, I think there are definitely people who that's their dream.
Yeah.
But I bet it wouldn't be as high as like the kids. I don't know. That would just be interesting to know that stat.
It would. And we're living through it. Like we don't know yet, you know,
that's
to your
the
point,
wild
which
thing.
is wild.
I know.
And you just can't control what others are thinking, doing, etc. on the internet. So I've noticed you're super private about Reese. So obviously you've shared that you are a mom on social.
Yeah.
Let's talk through that because I feel like everybody has a different stance on that. And there's no right or wrong. You do you. Obviously, I think we can both agree on that. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I think, you know, when I was pregnant, I was kind of feeling like I probably wouldn't share her just because as harmless as it can seem, like the internet is super vast and it can be dangerous. And my priority is just to like protect Reese in every sense. So even just thinking about like people that she doesn't know in the world knowing who she is, like without her consent, but even something as small as that to other things, I just want to make sure that she gets to have a childhood that's not impacted by what I'm choosing to do as a career and like have her privacy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I've seen a few people do that where they either don't show their children's faces or don't post them at all.
Yeah.
And for similar reasons, right? Like let them navigate that themselves, you know?
For sure. And like we were talking about, we're growing up with it, so we don't really know the effects of what it being on social media is going to do to children. So like to me, I think if I have no judgment to how people want to navigate their own situation, but for my family, this is just how we're navigating it.
I love that. Yeah.
And I think the conversation about kids online, I feel like I am starting to see more and more people talk about it because yeah, if I could guarantee that it was just the girlies and we would, you know, only like good, kind-hearted, good people were seeing this content, but that's not the case. Yeah.
That's why I love the Instagram friends only.
For sure.
Isn't it the best?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where I get to post like pictures of my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I do sometimes on occasion elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't have a ton of followers by any means, but like, I don't know. I still feel like it's nice to share the like little moments that feel like I'm sharing it with my friend. You know what I mean? It's a tricky thing to navigate, I feel.
Yeah.
And everybody has such a different stance on it.
For sure.
You know? Thanks for hanging with us here on Coffee Monday. Here's a word from our partners. Ever wonder where the gorgeous flowers from our centerpieces come from? The arrangement is styled by floral artist Darcy Hovsepian of DH Floral, and the flowers themselves are actually grown and sourced from local flower farms right here in our Central Valley, thanks to the creation of the San Joaquin Flower Collective. The San Joaquin Flower Collective is a partnership of small flower farms to provide 100% locally grown ingredients to flower collectives and flower lovers alike. As the first and only source for all locally grown flowers in the Central Valley, their biggest mission is to reduce the need for imported flowers. By streamlining the ordering process with an online shopping experience, prioritizing collaboration over competition, and raising awareness for our local flower movement, they are changing the way farm-grown flowers are bought and sold in the Central Valley. As a wholesaler or a retailer or just a flower lover yourself, you can follow along at SJ Flower Collective on Instagram for their latest happenings and fresh bloom drops. So what's next for Lex?
Oh.
I mean, you have a lot going on, but I mean, like, tell.
Oh man, we'll see. I feel like I just am still kind of getting my bearings about like working and being a mom. So that's kind of where I'm at right now and figuring out that balance. But I'm just going to keep making content and working and hopefully, you know, we'll see what happens. It's like, to me, I feel like it's coastal grand season right now. So I agree. Spring, summer is where we come out. So
give us all the inspo.
Yeah.
Need it all. Okay. So with that, I meant to ask you too. I feel like you said it, you know, you do have a dream job in so many ways. I think that's so cool that you get to build your own schedule and be your own boss. As a business owner myself, I do feel like, I mean, I have a team, so it's a little different, but how do you like, do you talk to people about your ideas, or is it like all in your head and then you're like, I'm just going to go for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like doing it on your own, it's like, I don't know if this is a good idea or I'm going to look like a fool. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. My mom and Nick here.
Oh, I love it. So those are your peeps.
For sure.
Everyone has their kind of like go-tos, right?
For sure. And, you know, I have management. And so we'll have calls and I'll be like, hey, because, you know, sometimes it's hard to get outside of yourself where it's hard to see yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like they're a good sounding board too.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I literally will get ideas like out and about in the shop, whatever it is, and I will like write them down because that's how I have to keep track of it because I'm like moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour all the time. So I'll forget it.
Yeah.
And like everyone, like mom brain, like I know that that's a real thing now.
100.
I have never been stupider. Like it's sick. I'm like, I will be like bad. Out trying to have conversations with people and I'm like, who am I? Like, where am I? Like, what's happening? So I definitely keep like a list and write them down. And I think sometimes you do look stupid, like, and that's all part of it. And
the humility, right?
Yeah. And being online, and it's kind of a little bit of trial and error. So like not being able to see yourself, people will you'll see the response. Like it's like they're your focus group where you post and it's like, okay, this is really resonating with people. Let me expand more on that. Or you know what, like this didn't work. Either pivot, take this same idea, do it in a new way, or scrap the idea. Like it's all about that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's tricky too, I would imagine, for you because you probably try to set your schedule in some respects, right? Like nap time or days you have childcare or whatnot. I get that. But also there's the trending martini chip and you need to hop on that.
For sure.
You know? So I guess to your point, you kind of, I would imagine, have to be nimble.
For sure. You kind of have to have your finger on the pulse like at all times. And so I'm like scrolling TikTok and I'm like, Nick, not now, I'm working. Like, not really.
Right? But like you are, research.
It's, R&D.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it?
R&D. I
know. But yeah, it's, you kind of have to, you do have to be like flexible. And I think getting it in, like that's how I describe my work schedule is like fitting in little things where I can.
Really?
And that's
good.
kind of like what it is. If Nick is like, I'm going to go take Reese on a walk, I'm like, okay, I'm going to film a quick vid.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just squeeze it in when you can. There's no like set day, set time type of thing. It's so hard.
Yeah. And what I post is like my real life. So that is helpful too, because it's like, oh, I'm genuinely going to do this today. Let me just film it.
Yeah.
So
love it. I love it.
That makes it easier.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
So fun. And having a supportive hubby obviously is everything.
For sure. Couldn't
everything.
Do it without that.
Right. So how do you navigate like, some people have like timers on their apps.
Oh yeah, that's not me. I'm so not that like time batching sort of person.
So how do you like like all of a sudden you're like an hour later I'm like, what the hell did I just do? I was scrolling type of thing. And in your situation I feel like it might be different because you are researching, you're thinking of ideas. That's your creative time. I would think.
Yeah.
right? So how do you you know?
Totally.
How do you not go down deep, dark rabbit holes and be on there forever?
I
mean, you have a daughter, so there's that.
There's that. I don't have timers, but I feel like if I'm just looking to see, okay, like what's trending right now, or even just scrolling for fun, I feel like I have like a mental timer where I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like, I feel like I notice that I will get a little bit anxious if I'm on my phone for too long. So I stop if I'm ever getting that feeling.
Yeah.
And I think with jobs where there is like a little bit of creativity involved, it's like you can't sit down and be like, okay, at 3 on Tuesday, I'm going to be creative. Like, I'm going to have all these ideas.
It's so hard. I know.
So you do kind of have to, like, when you get an idea, write it down and then come back to it. And that's how I'm working right now, at least. And I don't know that it's the most efficient way, but this is how it's going down at this current moment.
Yeah, I love it. It works. And that's real life. To your point, you're documenting things that are a real part of your life, and being a mom of a young baby, like that is the reality. So you're fitting it in when you can.
Yeah.
I always had the best ideas, and I feel like sometimes I still do, in the shower.
That is literally the spot where I'm hopping out and like writing things down.
Think about that though. Think about that. I think it's because it's the first time of the day where we're just like unwinding.
100%.
And that's when all the good stuff comes.
How do you navigate, because you're working from home a lot of the time?
I'd say flex, but yeah.
And are your kids in the house?
Absolutely not.
No.
Nope.
They're gone.
Yep. So 2 things that I have found that
Give me the tips.
I mean, everybody's different. But what works for me is I can't multitask. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
It's a very unpopular thing to say. But I mean, yes, we're all doing all the things at once. I was literally trying to place my Instacart order before we got started. That's reality of trying to do it all. But what I can't do is work with my kids.
Yeah.
I just can't. I've tried. I have 3 young babies. My business is around the same age as my oldest.
Yeah.
I've done it all. I've done it. I've had them in the office with me. I've had them in a rocker while I'm on Zoom.
Yeah.
On the phone call. It doesn't behoove anybody. I feel like I can't give my kids 100% of my attention.
Totally.
So then they want you even more. Like you said, Reese is obsessed with the phone. There's a reason why, because that's deterring your attention from her. My kids are the same way. They will be perfectly quiet, and then I get on the phone and it's like,
yeah, madness.
Yeah. And I'm like, seriously, guys? Seriously? And it's getting a little bit better as they get older when I actually have to take a call, like somebody's calling me and I can't call them back type of thing. But I have just learned, for me, I cannot do that. I can't give anybody 100%. And then I get overstimulated and then I get frustrated and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I can't serve my clients. I can't serve my children. So I personally need to separate the 2. So with that, I guess just because I didn't grow up going to like a daycare or anything, I just never thought my kids would go down that path, just because, again, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
It's been the greatest thing for our family. Solely because partially they get the socialization as well with other kids, and there's small private situations where I know the other families and trust the caregivers, of course, but also they're out of the house. So I get to tidy up. I get to, work from home on days I don't really feel like coming in. And that has been really great. And then I can pick them up whenever I want, of course, but it's just nice.
Yeah.
For me.
Have the separation.
Yeah. I can't. COVID was rough. And honestly, talk about a team effort. I mean, Michael and I divided and conquered. I straight up told him, I can't take a call with the kids. That doesn't.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, we've all done it, but if I'm on a conference call with a bunch of other people who are making time for it, how am I any more special than them?
Right.
So for me, I just can't do it. I can't. And some women can, and they thrive. I think that's great. That is not me.
Yeah. For sure.
It's hard. I'm
at a place where nobody's watched Reese that's not related to us.
Good for you. I mean, that's impressive.
Privilege.
Yes.
It's honestly such a privilege, and thank you to I know the grandmas are going to be listening to this. The grandmas, like,
the best.
real MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
But one day that's not going to be the case. Mm-hmm. And I know I just haven't gotten there yet.
You have time. Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
You know, she's just barely turning 1, you know?
Birthday party, planning, and all of it.
Let's hear about, okay. Are we going to get content of the birthday party even if she's not in it?
For sure.
Great.
I'll share the birthday party.
I'm just
hoping that it doesn't rain.
I know, so, right? Spring, baby. It's a toss-up.
It is a toss-up. We have a tent on standby, but Nick has gone ahead and invited like 180 people to the party. I'm like, there are weddings that are not this
Wedding 2.0. I was literally thinking about that.
No, he thinks he's like the Godfather and everyone's going to come meet the baby. Give her a kiss on the forehead.
Oh my God, that's so great.
So
Nick. He's so great. Well, thank you for coming. This was so much fun.
So fun. We
Loved having you. We really could. Next time, over martinis.
For sure. I'm gonna bring my shaker.
Perfect.
I'll make you the dirty martini. You make me the espresso martini.
Perfect. And I'll bring the blue cheese stuffed tool.
I'm getting that before I leave the parking lot. Yeah.
Thanks,
sure.
Lex.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening. Feel free to rate and review this episode here and connect with us on Instagram if you have any thoughts, questions, or any guest suggestions. Thanks.